In this video, we're going to talk about why everything works out when you decide it does. So if you clicked on this video, you most likely have a desired reality in mind that you want to create and experience. And you've been working towards it through either working hard, right? Forcing, hustling, grinding, discipline, or you've become aware of manifestation and you've been attempting to manifest that desired reality. Now, you got to understand here, when I talk about manifestation, I'm not talking about the same manifestation as the demons on TikTok and Reels, talking about go think about water and then turn on the shower and see water come out of the shower head to prove that you can manifest. That is not the same BS that I talk about on this channel. But you feel like you're stuck in this limbo space where you don't really fit in with your old friends or your old circumstances, but at the same time, you haven't changed your life enough to finally feel like you've hit that next level where everything has already worked out for you. So in this video, I'm going to break down to you why you are stuck and why things haven't worked out for you yet, and what to actually do to finally create and experience your desired reality. So before we get into the rest of this video, if you want to create your desired reality and create a purpose-driven life through alignment and not force, then I have a private community that teaches you exactly how to do that. So if you're interested in creating your desired reality, I'd love to have you in the community. The link is in the description if you want to join. Now let's get into the rest of this video. So first we're going to touch on what you're getting wrong. You are falling into and feeding into this illusion that I'll feel better once it's all worked out. And having everything worked out for you might be hitting that monthly income in your business, finally getting that job, getting into that career, or finally having that godly physique that you want. But the way you're looking at it is, when I finally hit that monthly income in my business, then I'll finally feel freedom. I'll finally feel wealth. When I finally get that job, finally get into that career, then I'll finally feel financial security. Or when I finally get that godly physique that I want, then I'll finally feel confident. So you're waiting for things to change in your physical reality in order for you to feel better. But the issue with this is that you're wanting things to change in your physical reality without even understanding the cause of how things change in physical reality, right? So you're essentially wanting for a package to be delivered to you, but you don't even know how to place the order to get the package, right? And I know you might be thinking right now, but I've been doing all the work. I've been working hard. I've been pushing myself. I've been doing everything that I've been told to do. You have to come to this understanding that doing is not the cause, because doing is an action, and an action is physical, which means it exists only in physical reality, only on the physical plane. And you're going to understand that better throughout this video. But doing is not the cause. So if doing is not the cause, then what is the cause? Because if we can understand the cause, then we can actually trigger those causes to get the desired effects that we want. And that brings us to our next point. You can only have externally what you already have internally. So when we refer to the external, we're referring to physical reality. And when we refer to the internal, we're referring to your frequency, your state of consciousness, your state of being, your identity, self-concept, right? The aspects of your mind. And what this point is saying is that the internal is the cause and the external is only the effect. And so the reason that you feel like you have no control over outcomes and change in your physical reality, and why you feel like outcomes in your reality are always based on chance, right? So for example, if you were to finally hit that monthly income or that success in your business, you would deep down view it as luck. Now, this stems from the issue that you think physical reality is all that exists. And when you think physical reality is all that exists, you feed into this illusion that cause and effect take place in the same place in physical reality. But you have to come to an understanding that anything to do with physical reality, that includes having in physical reality or doing in physical reality, are only effects triggered by an associated cause. And this associated cause always has to do with your frequency, with your mind, your mental aspects. So if we connect this to the law of correspondence, as they talk about in the Kabbalion, as within, so without, as above, so below. So what is within and above is your mind, and what is without and below is the effects on your body and physical reality. So you have to come to this understanding that whatever takes place in your mind, in the reality that you hold in your mind, you are going to experience in your body and physical reality as an effect. So you cannot have in physical reality what is without what you do not already have within. So I'm going to give you some examples of how this cause and effect has been working in your life. Because once you can start to gain awareness of how it's been working in your life, then you can start to use it to your advantage once you can grasp the concept and trigger certain causes in order to get the desired effects. So let's say, for example, certain effects that you want are to hit that monthly income target in your business, or to finally get that job, or to finally have that physique, right? We'll use the examples from earlier. The issue you're making is that you want these effects in your physical reality, but you're looking to physical reality and thinking, how can I act in physical reality to get these other effects in physical reality? So you're trying to change an effect with an effect, but that doesn't make any sense, does it? In order to get a certain effect, then we have to trigger the associated cause. So if we want the effect of hitting that monthly income target in your business, then we have to look to the cause. And the cause is always to do with your frequency, with your mind. But in order to have the effect of hitting that monthly income target in your business, the cause is that you already need to be in the frequency of having hit that monthly income target in your business. If you want to get that job or be in that career as an effect in your physical reality, then you already need to be in the frequency of having that job, of being in that career. If you want to have that physique as an effect in your physical reality, then you already need to be in the frequency of having that physique before you even have it. And that is when you have it as an effect in your physical reality. Now, the reason that you are not getting these effects in your physical reality is because you're so focused on forcing action while you have not initiated the cause. You are not in the frequency of having what it is that you want. And so the effect is that you do not get what you want. And at the same time, whenever you try to push or force or hustle and grind towards that effect, that monthly income target in your business, you find it so easy to procrastinate. You find it so difficult to be disciplined. Every simple thing that you need to do to work towards that desired reality feels like a struggle. It feels like suffering. That is because you are not in the frequency of having it within already, right? That's why whenever you need to script a video, whenever you need to record content, whenever you need to do a sales call or create a VSL, it feels like this uphill battle. So you need to know how to plant the correct seed in order to get the desired effect that you want. If you want to grow watermelons, then you need to be planting watermelon seeds as the cause. You cannot be planting apple seeds expecting to grow watermelons, right? So the thing that you want to grow and the effect that you want to have in your physical reality is hitting that monthly income target in your business. But the seed that you're planting is wanting to hit that monthly income target in your business. Now you have to understand me very clearly when I say this. Whenever you are in a state of wanting, that is an indication of you not having. So if your cause is a lack of that monthly income in your business, then as an effect, you are also going to experience a lack of monthly income in that business, whether that's 10K a month, 5K a month, 15K, 50K, whatever it is. So you wanting for things to work out in your reality is part of the problem. And it's exactly why no matter how hard you work towards it, no matter how much you think about how badly you want that reality, you still don't have that desired reality. So let's start to break down why you're stuck in this seemingly endless period of wanting but never having. And that brings us to our next point. You only want to have something externally in order to feel the associated emotion internally. So there's this illusion that you're feeding into about yourself and reality, that I want the desired reality, let's say that's 10K a month in my business, because when I have 10K a month in my business, then I will feel the desired associated emotion, which could be feelings of freedom, wealth, and abundance. But you have to come to the realization that you are seeing yourself and reality backwards. You are seeing and perceiving this desired emotion as a result of having something in physical reality. And the only reason that you want to have this thing in physical reality, this 10K a month in your business, is because you want to feel and be in that frequency that you associate with it. So you think to yourself, I'll finally feel freedom. I'll finally feel wealthy when I hit 10K a month in my business. I'll finally feel financial security when I get that job, when I get into that career. I'll finally feel confident walking around and talking to girls when I get that physique that I want. But the issue here is that you are holding off from feeling these emotions until you have those things in physical reality. But you're missing the fact that the prerequisite of having those things in physical reality is you being in that frequency in the first place. So you have to understand that you need to be in that frequency before you even have it in physical reality. And that is when you will have it in physical reality as a byproduct of the frequency that you're embodying. And the thing is, when this reality, your desired reality, unfolds for you, it will always feel easy, natural, and effortless. Everything that I talk about on this channel and the way that I see that life should be lived is that it should be easy. It should feel natural. It should feel effortless. What's the point of going through all this suffering to get to 10K a month in your business and then experience suffering, attempting to maintain it, all because you have not stepped into the frequency beforehand for it to all feel easy, right? That's why you hear so many people with material gain, with all these cars, boats, yachts, the money, the house, the mansion. You hear them talking about how they're suffering. Oh, it's not what you think it is, bro. It's not what you think it is, right? We deal with the same stuff too. That's because this is the true work that you need to be doing. So you have to stop feeding into that illusion of, I want 10K a month in my business because when I have 10K a month in my business, then I will feel wealthy. I will feel freedom. I will feel abundance. I will finally feel that I can garner respect from people. And you have to change it to, I will feel the desired emotion. I will feel wealthy. I will feel abundant. Then I will do in physical reality. Then I will carry out the actions required naturally. And then I will have my desired reality. I will have that 10K a month in my business. That is the way you need to be looking at it. Because you need to come to an understanding that all wanting is a contract that you make with yourself to be unhappy and unsatisfied until you get what you want in physical reality. Now, the issue with that is that wanting never gets you what you want in physical reality. So by wanting, you are always going to remain in a state of being unhappy. That's why so many people feel that way. They want so many things and they never get them because wanting is not how you get them. No matter how badly you think about it and do towards it, they fail to understand that it is their internal state within that will dictate what they experience externally. So in understanding all of this, you may be wondering at this point, well, Mike, how can I truly feel those feelings? And how can I truly be in that frequency when I don't have or see those things as evidence in my physical reality? Well, that brings us to the title of this video. Everything works out when you decide it does. The key word here being decide. All you have to do is decide that you already have what it is that you want and live from that frequency. So the solution here isn't to plan every single step of the way towards your desired reality, right? Reading every single book you can, watching every single YouTube video, every single course, right? And try to plan every action that you must take to force your desired reality. AKA, stop trying to force your desired reality through doing out of lack, limitation, desperation, a low frequency. Just take care of the cause within, the reality you hold in your mind, the way you see yourself in your mind, and the effect will take care of itself. Because when you take care of the cause within, your experience of this physical reality, it's going to naturally reflect the unfoldment and the materialization of your desired reality without you having to force anything. Right? And when I say that, I don't mean you never have to take action, that you can just sit on the couch watching Netflix and wait for your desired reality to come to you because you created one vision board. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean that the actions that you think you need to carry out, those things will come to you naturally so long as you've taken care of the cause and you're embodying the frequency that you need to embody. That is all you have to take care of. So now at this point, you may be wondering, well, Mike, I know I need to decide, but how can I decide with true conviction that I have what it is that I want? Now, in order to help you have some conviction about this, not have some conviction, to have conviction about this, conviction is absolute, my apologies, but it will help you to understand your true nature that holds the power to decide. So if we go back to the law of correspondence, as above, so below, and we connect this to the three planes of existence, You have the spiritual plane, the mental plane, and the physical plane. Now, what is below is the physical plane, physical reality. What is above are the mental and spiritual planes, right? Now, it is your existence on the mental plane that emits a certain frequency. And your physical reality as an effect, and what is below, is going to reflect whatever frequency you are emitting. So as I said before, if you're emitting a certain frequency of not having any money in your business, that you're always trying to grow your business or wanting to grow your business, then what you experience on the physical plane as an effect is that you are always wanting to grow your business. It has not grown. There's still no money being made in your business. And now you may be asking the question, well, how can I decide what frequency I emit so I can always get the desired effect on the physical plane? Well, that's when the spiritual plane comes in. Now, if we look at the mental plane in relation to the spiritual plane, the mental plane is what is below, and the spiritual plane is what is above. So it is the spiritual plane, your existence on the spiritual plane, that decides the aspects of your existence on the mental plane, the aspects of your mind that emits a certain frequency. And what you have to come to understand here is that it is your existence on the spiritual plane that is your true nature. Most people on this planet are identifying with their ego persona, their body, their mind, which is why they experience so much suffering. But what you have to come to an understanding is that you are not those things. And how do we know this? Because you can observe them. If you can observe your body and you can observe your mind, then you cannot be those things. So that makes you the awareness that is observing them, and that is your true nature. And so you want to use this awareness to release identification from this ego persona, from your body, from your mind, and decide the aspects of your mind. Let go of the aspects that you don't want, and allow and conjure the aspects in your mind that you do prefer. So it is crucial that you need to release identification from your body and mind, because it can be very difficult to change aspects of your mind while you believe them to be you. But once you can release identification from them, it's like you're looking at your mind and the aspects of your mind as pieces on a chessboard that you can move around strategically. So ultimately, by living through this awareness, you get to decide the mental aspects that you have, and therefore the frequency that you emit, and therefore the reality you create and experience. So taking away your focus from just doing, pushing, hustling, grinding, forcing, is you understanding truly that the physical plane is only the effect, and you initiating change in both you and your reality through the true cause is you focusing on your alignment on the mental and spiritual planes, specifically using your existence on the spiritual plane to decide aspects of your mental plane. So the feeling that you want to focus on cultivating within through this mechanism is you want to feel like you've made the game-winning shot, right? How do you feel when you've hit the game-winning shot? You walk around with a new level of confidence. You walk around with that swagger. You walk around with a high self-esteem, right? If you ever hit the game-winning shot back in high school, for the whole week, you feel like the man. You got all this confidence within you, right? You have a very high self-esteem. And similarly, when you get a haircut, when you get that fresh fade, when you get a clean as lineup, how do you feel walking around the shopping center when you go out to that club or that bar? You feel so much more confident, right? So if we extrapolate this to hitting that monthly income target in your business, when you do finally hit that monthly income target in your business, you finally hit that goal, you feel as though you've made the game-winning shot. And so it's those emotions that are on a higher level of consciousness that you want to be feeling before you even hit the goal. So whenever you're working on your business, whenever you're creating that VSL or scripting out a video or recording a video, you want to feel those emotions as you're doing it. Whenever you're applying for that job or you're in the job interview, you want to be feeling the desired emotions while you are doing those things. Whenever you're on a journey to working towards that physique that you want to feel those emotions before you even see the physique in your physical reality. Because you have to understand that these emotions that you want to feel as a result of having, they are not activated by anything in your physical reality. No event, no circumstance, no thing in your physical reality are required to activate these emotions within you. They are activated from within you. So you want to use your awareness to decide to feel the emotions of you hitting your goal before it has even been hit. And if you're struggling with constantly feeling and experiencing negative emotions, all that comes from is you focusing and placing your attention on an undesired reality, on the problems in your current undesired reality. So all you need to do is shift into what you do want and shift into the state of already having it by deciding that you already have it. So now you might be wondering, how do I do this so that I can cultivate the feelings within and finally have everything work out for me? So first things first, what you want to do is you want to set aside 15 to 20 minutes every single day, whether that's in the morning or whether that's at night. But what you're going to do in these 15 to 20 minutes is something called a desired reality visualization. And the purpose of this visualization is to trigger certain desired emotions within you without anything happening in your physical reality to trigger them. So what you want to do is, in the first 5 to 10 minutes of you meditating and getting ready to visualize, you want to focus on your breathing and calming all the tension that you're holding in your body so that you enter a deeply relaxed state. Kind of like this state where you're in between falling asleep and being awake, right? I was about to say falling awake and being asleep. But that's what you want to focus on for the first 5 to 10 minutes. And after those 5 to 10 minutes, then you want to begin to visualize a very short scene, it can be 30 seconds or less, of you living in your desired reality, right? It can be you driving the car that you want to drive, being in the house that you want to be in, right? Or you can have somebody congratulating you for hitting that 10K month in your business or that 50K month in your business. Someone who you love, who would be genuinely happy for you. And then you want to feel those emotions strongly. You may even have tears of joy running down your face as you do this. That's how strong the emotions can become. And when it comes to the specific visuals that you need to visualize, you don't need to go on Reddit and search, oh, what do I need to visualize in order to get my desired reality? Nobody knows the answer to that better than you. You will naturally come up with the visuals of you living in your desired reality that trigger the strongest emotions within you. So only you know the answer to that. But as you engage in this practice consistently, you will get better at realizing, oh, this is what I really want. And when you're in this relaxed state and you feel these emotions, they easily impress and enter your subconscious mind. And over time, as you engage in this visualization practice consistently, these emotions become your new normal. They become your new baseline. And this all cascades down from you familiarizing yourself with your desired emotions and you living throughout each day as your true nature as the awareness and choosing to cultivate these familiar emotions now within. So you've got step 1 down. Familiarize yourself with those emotions through the desired reality visualization so it becomes your new normal. Then we move on to the second thing, which is throughout each day, you want to maintain your frequency. So whenever you are thrown off throughout your day or you encounter challenges throughout your day, you want to use your awareness to decide how you feel about it. So instead of looking immediately to the negative aspects of what you're experiencing or what you've encountered, use your awareness to decide how you want to feel about it and cultivate those desired emotions within you. And what you have to understand here is that it isn't a matter of how many times you are thrown off throughout your day. It's a matter of how long do you stay thrown off throughout your day and how quickly can you get back and shift back into that frequency. That is what you truly want to focus on in maintaining your frequency. Don't worry about, oh, this thing happened and now I've been thrown off my frequency. Just shift yourself back into that frequency. That's all that matters. And as you do this, you have no more reliance on physical reality to feel the way that you want to feel. And as you maintain this frequency, your physical reality, everything outside of you bends to this frequency that you are embodying. And so the results and the desired reality that you want to materialize just materializes as a byproduct of who you have become. If you're currently stuck in this limbo space and you are serious about creating your desired reality, I'd love to have you in the community and work with you closely. So as I said before, the link is in the description for you to join that. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.